Hello, Jack. Hello, Stian. Thank you. Male 26 from Norway. Good of you to mention that. I appreciate that, Stian. How do you say thank you in Norwegian? Don't tell me it's thank you. Ah, tuck. I remember I asked this before, I guess. I now remember. Tuck. Jack says, I've been hitting the gym for 6 times a week for the past 7 months. Difference in me is amazing. Oh, great. Good news. Good to hear that. 6 times a week is a bit, maybe too much. You need to give enough rest, depending, of course, if you are training each body part on each separate day, or you're doing a little bit of everything every time. But either way, if you're focused on, for example, chest and biceps, you want to make sure that you do a good workout followed by some cardio, and then the next day maybe you do back and triceps and followed by some cardio, and then the next day maybe legs, and then followed by light walk, because it's hard to do cardio after legs. So then you take 1 day off. So 3, 1 day off, then chest and biceps and back and triceps, and then leg again, and then that's 7 days. 3, 1 day off, and 3. But sometimes, depending on the intensity of your training, you might find it 2 days, 1 day off, or 3 days, 2 days off, or after 3 days, 1 day off, 3 days, and then 2 days off this time instead of 1 day. So 3 days, 1 day off, then 3 days, 2 day off. Just to give enough time for your body to recuperate. Of course, you're young right now and you recuperate pretty fast, recover pretty fast, much faster than my age now. But still, it's good to have a clear understanding of what kind of training you're having and how much time you need to recover. So it'll be a safe training, not constantly, chiseling out a bit of, injuries here and there and not noticing it. But it's all good news that you have been continuous in your training. Good for you. Sanya Mehran Jun. Hi Mehran Jun. Hello Sanya Jun. Good to see you, dear. Now remember guys, I do forget naturally where you guys are tuning in from. I think Sanya is in UK. Am I mistaken? Jack, perhaps you're in UK as well. I'm not sure. But it would be great if you guys just mention it when when you get a chance. And Jack says, I hit a new personal record on squat today. 80 kilos. That's 160. That's 200 pounds, which is 100 pounds, which is about 75 or 80 pounds each side plus the bar. That's about 160 plus the bar. So 80 pounds each side, and the bar, that should come to about 200 pounds. 80 kilo, 160, that's 200 pounds. Sonia, yes, from UK, yes, I did remember that. And Ga says Norway here. Ah, hello, Ga, Norway. How do I really like to visit Norway? I've heard so much wonderful things about it. And I really would like to, when I get a chance to visit Norway. It's a pretty advanced country, very civilized, and lots of good social benefits for people who live in Norway. And I think it's very beautiful too, I've heard. Jack says 200 pounds is just over 91 kilo. Is it? 80 kilo? Oh, I consider 2.5 pounds per kilo, which is wrong. There's only 2. Yeah, I made a mistake. So 80 kilos, 160. So probably you have 60 pounds each side of the bar plus the bar, which is, if you're doing it on a rail, that's about maybe 40 pounds. But if you're doing the free, that would be like probably 50-pound bars. So yeah, probably 40 pounds each side. No, what, 60 pounds each side? What am I saying? 80 kilo, 160. That would mean 80 pounds each side. 60 pounds. 60 pounds each side plus the bar. Yeah. Good job. But remember, the idea is not how heavy you go. The idea is how healthy you go and how you can help the muscles to, you know, become stronger rather than too much on it and too soon. There's no trophy waiting for anybody, and just don't treat training as success for more than what it is, and then neglect your other channels that you want to accomplish in life. So, because when we go to the gym, we feel so good. Oh, we did something. Like, we feel like we've accomplished something. Well, we've accomplished training, and that's good. But that's not supposed to give you enough satisfaction that you stay away from real other accomplishments that you intend to perform and complete in your life. So whether it's your studies or your jobs, your projects, they all should be focused just as much as you focus on your training. Otherwise, it will give you an illusory effect of accomplishment, satisfaction, and success, and you neglect the other channels that you need to be just as focused to accomplish to a acceptable and great levels as you desire it to be. You do free weights, and hopefully for that kind of a weight you have some spotter behind you. Yeah, of course it does, Jack. That's good. It's good. And Ga says, please come and visit with me. Visit me. Well, you know, it would be lovely if you guys can arrange, if you could arrange some kind of a, you know, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 people gathering, so I can come and do a workshop for you guys and discuss this whole movement of mind and talk about desire, pleasure, its effect on our lives, its role in our lives, in our center, thoughts and consciousness, fear and ego, and explore it all together as a conversation. And so that would be good, you know, that I can justify the, you know, the efforts and the costs and all that. Otherwise, if I come for vacation, but of course, that is totally different. But then I don't know when, because that's just my personal desire, vacation. But if it's for sharing these discussions and helping people, then I would give priorities So Stian is from Norway, Jack is from UK, is it, Jack? Sonia is from UK. And Guy is from Norway. Now, when you guys ask a question, don't forget to let me know. Again, just remind me, of course, not the ones who are already here. I already know where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or woman. That helps me out. God says, woohoo, not so many people in Norway. You know, it's just 1 out of 100 of a number in the US. I don't care how many people are in Norway or anywhere else. All I need is just a few hundred people. I mean, I don't care about the population as a whole. Just enough for us to have a good, meaningful, and helpful conversation. Enough to justify the whole effort to come. When I'm on Skype one-on-one with people who make appointments, or when I'm on Facebook or YouTube, that's different. It's easy to, there's not much effort or cost involved. But if I'm supposed to take off and go somewhere, then we gotta focus on, how the cost and provisions and things like that would be. So it has to be an organization and arrangement to encourage people to join or want to solve their problems or learn about themselves. And so there has to be some kind of economic value to it. So to make it all a worthwhile and economically viable venture. Otherwise I go broke. if I go here, Australia and Norway and UK and then Germany and then France and then Middle East, and then I gotta be a millionaire to do all that. Which I'm not. Thank you. I wasn't sure if what GA stands for, and I thought maybe that's a Norwegian name. So Gabrielle, that's much better. Preston says, good afternoon. Hello, Preston. I believe you had a comment today, and I think I responded. I believe I did respond. I had a bunch of comments and emails today, and I tried to respond to every single one. I think you guys probably can attest to that, with thousands and thousands. We have reached over 1.5 million people on YouTube. And thousands and thousands of comments. And believe it or not, and I hope you believe it, if not all, 99.9999% of it, I mean, unless it slipped through the cracks, I have responded to every comment, question, concern. And not just click like or whatever, and not just short ones when it was called for just a short response, but often long paragraphs, responding and trying to communicate and make a meaningful response. And I wonder why YouTube's algorithm still doesn't see us as, clearly as they should. Not even that, let alone the fact that right now we're not even visible on YouTube when I go live. That's why I'm here on Facebook, because we had gained some momentum on YouTube, and we had lots of participants, and our live talks would take like 4 hours or 3 hours to complete all the questions. Now suddenly we're invisible. When I go live, which I just did before Facebook, just to see if it's fixed or not, I can sit there for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And sometimes I could sit there for half an hour and nobody, like we're invisible. So until they fix it, and they have said that they recognize it's a problem and they're going to fix it, it's been 2 weeks now, more than 2 weeks. Maybe this is the 3rd week. So whatever is trying to dampen, put a damper on our progress, we will prevail. We'll push through. Angie Martinez. Hello, Angie. Angie says, hi, Mehran, 41, Arizona. Thank you so much for sharing that information, which is very vital for me to know who I'm talking with, where they are, what cultural background, a little bit, by knowing where they're tuning in from. The age and the gender, it all helps to tailor make the response. How are you, Angie? How is everything at your neck of the wood? Arizona, a warm, dry, hot place, I believe. Right. Now, have you guys run dry with questions? I'm not hearing any. Oh, there we go. Anka. Oh, Anka. Let me see before I read you what you wrote. Anka, Germany, maybe. Hi, Mehran. Good afternoon. Oh, there we go. Yes, Germany. I remember Anka has joined us once before, I believe, or a couple of times before. How are you, Anka? Hope all is well with you. What part of Germany you're tuning in from, Anka? And remind me of your age, if you will. I used to travel to Germany quite often. I mean, not that often, but often enough. Sometimes on business and sometimes on family reasons. So, some parts that I visited: Hunsrück, Koblenz, Castellau, Frankfurt, Hamburg, Bonn, Mannheim, lots of other places, I think. I like Germany. All the bratwurst I used to have. Now I don't, but Anka says, it's true, I'm good, thank you. I'm 28 from Bonn. Oh, yes. But I'm born in Romania, my home country. Oh, I see. Okay. So you immigrated to Germany. Anka says Koblenz is very near. Oh, really? So that means... that means... Yeah, Bonn. Yeah, Bonn is close to Koblenz, but I think it takes, what, an hour drive, if I remember it. Because I remember I did go from Koblenz to Bonn long time ago with my then we went to with my then girlfriend. We went to a disco in Bonn, I think it was. Anka says, haha, I love Germany too. It's a good country to live. Yes, yes, it is. Yeah, 1 hour. That's what I thought too. Mm-hmm. So let's see who else is having any. Do we have any question today? Are we just socializing today? That's good. That means you know, I've done my job. Everybody's happy. No problems in the horizon. We talked about gym, workout. We talked about you know, places that we have visited. We talked about traveling to Norway. We've talked about all these wonderful things. So looks like there's no use for me in your lives, guys, anymore. You know, I seem to be getting lots of different viewers from all corners of the world, but the one place that I haven't seemed to be reaching, or have not had any more than maybe one, even if that was, maybe that was just the nationality of the person but not living in that country. I don't seem to be reaching Japan or China. Most other countries I hear from: Italy, Germany, France, UK, India, Iran, Dubai, Russia, almost everywhere. But Japan, and even Korea and Hong Kong and Australia, but Japan is not on the radar. I don't know. I don't know. And I wonder what's holding them back. Maybe YouTube doesn't, maybe I'm non-existent in most places in the world, but more so in Japan and China. Gabrielle says, is it, let's see, is it Gabrielle or Gabriella? Okay. Gabrielle, okay. But before that, Robert says, hello, Mehran. Hi, Mehran. Hello, Robert. Good to see you, dear. Ah, there is a question. Gabrielle says, I just broke up with a man which aches because it is so fresh. Oh, I see. It's painful for you right now. I just broke up with a man which aches because it is so fresh. I'm most angry with myself. I'm most angry with myself because I already early into the relationship got alarm bells ringing, and still I stayed. I broke up several times but didn't stick to my decision. How can I trust myself again? It's not about trust. It's about ego. It's about the feeling of propensity toward pleasure and laziness from severing something that you know it's not gonna work out, but you don't want to put that effort out and try again and build another one. So you prefer to repair the broken sink when it's always leaking away, because it's always easy to do some kind of a thing and get over with it and it will work temporarily, rather than actually get the plumber to come and change the sink and the plumbing and make it all new and perfect so it will last longer. You don't want to go through that steps and trouble. So it's laziness. It's laziness, and the fact that I've put so much effort in fixing this thing, so it must work out. I'm gonna make it work because it's me. I am capable. I can do it. And it's my choice. Listen to this. Ego says, it's my choice. How could it be wrong? And it gives me pleasure or some kind of a psychological security or some kind of an accomplishment that I've taken care of this part of my life. I have a relationship, so I don't have to worry about that. I can focus on other things. It's comfortable. So you come up with all these reasonings to keep yourself from making the right correction, direction, and choices, to sever it. And severing things is always a hard thing for a human being because you're accustomed to gather. None of us are been trained or conditioned or accustomed to throw out. You see, we hoard things in our homes even. We get things, we keep them. We don't need them, and we keep them. There's some things here that I haven't used for a long time, but I'm lazy to get rid of them to bring more discipline in the way I envision my life should be. But the laziness and the fact that we think we should collect things because it gives us a certain sense of the order being in place and nothing new is changed. Change is rather difficult. The energy exchanges when you throw things out, and you want to keep that same image of your whole surrounding, the order to be the same. So that interferes with you making the right decision. And it leaches into your relationships as well. So you don't take the steps to sever it. You don't listen to the alarms and the bells that rings and goes off. You can see there's some wrong, but you say, no, I'm going to ignore what I can see that is not good. And I'm going to focus on what is good and enjoy myself because I like pleasure. And I am not willing to let go of the pleasure for the sake of not being bothered by this. I'm just going to put this under the rug and focus on the pleasure, and I'm going to fix this by force. Even though it's not really the alloy that I can change its shape, but I'm going to beat on it until it changes. Or I'm going to endure it until it changes. Or because I'm lazy, I don't want to continue fixing things. I just want to settle with it and feel everything is okay. These are all excuses you come up with. And the most important one, or one of the most important ones, your ego. You're the one who chose that man. Now you have to admit that you made a mistake. Ego says, I don't make mistakes. I'm really perfect in my choices. And that's what I've chosen because I'm the best. Therefore, what I've chosen must be the best. Therefore, if I am now convinced, which I convinced myself, that that is the best because I think of myself the best, so what I choose must be a best quality. Therefore, I keep pushing in my head that that is the best to make myself feel good. That's selfishness. Now I have a hard time to believe that is not the best because I conditioned myself to believe that is the best. Now I'm not going to admit. My ego says, no, it's your choice. You did good. How could it be bad? These all stops you from actually listening to the bells and whistles and ringings, alarms, to make correct corrections in time. And that was the problem. So the trust, it would be too late to think about the trust. It would be best if you just simply let go the ego, be fair in assessment of the quality of your chosen candidate. If he is not complying, and after you have discussed and conversed together and tried to resolve, if you see it's not, then realize it's not up to you to fix that person. Because most of us are confident and say, no, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to explain, I'm going to discuss, I'm going to, give, training, and I'm going to fix that. But that's not about you fixing. It's about the consciousness of that person that is conditioned differently, and doesn't matter what you're going to be doing. Unless he or she becomes aware of that, wants to make changes, it's not going to be up to you. They will pretend that they comply with your fixing process because there's a pleasure coming behind that fixing. If they comply, they get the pleasure. So they pretend that they comply to satisfy you and enjoy the pleasure of the companionship or whatever it is that you offer, or they could see in the horizon if they comply with those changes that you expect. And then they go back, but in reality, they are still who they are. That's why eventually shit hits the fan and you can't take it anymore, and it becomes apparent that it can't be fixed, and then you have to make that decisive action, which is, okay, I give up. So focus and be reasonable to yourself from the beginning. so you won't end up conditioning yourself to the order that you create with your partner, then it would become difficult to sever it. Before it becomes a conditioning of that relationship becomes part of your life, you simply got to wait before you go wholeheartedly in and assess things. And if it's not right, don't let it condition you. Don't get used to that order, because then it becomes difficult. And then you'll be mad at yourself because it's going to hurt and all that. It's not hurting because the guy was so great, because if it was so great, then there would be no problem. You guys would still be together. It's hurting because you have now changed the order. What you've been conditioned and settled with, now it's changed. Now you have to make other efforts. And that's what's pissing you off. That's what you're missing, the order. So that'll boil over. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Gabriel says, is there a major delay on the line? I don't know. There could have been, because I got your question 2 times. That means perhaps first you put it in and it didn't come through, and then you put it again. There could be. It could be. Either my end or your end, I'm not sure. Stian says, 26-year-old male from Norway. Thank you, Stian. I think that my ex-girlfriend is a psychopath. Possibly. I broke up with her in January. My problem is that it is still difficult for me to let new and better girls into my life for romance and intimacy. Why? It's like saying the food that I was eating was not good quality. I had to throw up. I had to stop eating it because it was spoiled or was making me vomit. But now I can't allow myself to eat food, better food again. Why? You still have the need for nourishments. And if it's a healthy food, good food, better quality food, why not? Just because, what? Are you telling me that you actually prefer the one that you vomited, or the one that didn't have a good quality, the one that was hazardous, the one that didn't taste well, the one that you started, it tasted good, and in the middle of it you found some, I don't know, cockroach in it and you threw it out, but now you don't want to have a better food? Listen to yourself. You had a relationship, it didn't work out. Okay. She's no angel, no God. And what she offered, 100 million other women offered even better. That's a possibility, a big possibility. So what is it that you hung up on? Think about it. What is it? When you think about it through, you come to understanding that it is not the lack of better women out there. It is the brand that you're used to. You've sold the idea to yourself that she's the best. And you think going with somebody else, you've not settled with the best because you dubbed this one the best. No, it was just a pleasure. And when you can't have a certain kind of a thing that you consider pleasure, you think you really gotta want it more. It is you who think it was the best. But it itself in quality compared to others wasn't the best. That was the only thing available to you, within your reach. And what's within our reach, we tend to think is the best because we haven't seen other ones available to compare it with. We've only seen what was available in our own vicinity, and what was available in our own vicinity, this one was the better one. But that doesn't mean this one, which was the better one in this vicinity, is also a better one in the bigger vicinity. And you need to understand that. It is you who have made that to have this label of the best. but in fact is not. You make a wine in your own vineyard and you love it, it's better than the other vineyards, and you say, oh, that's the best wine. Okay, maybe in that particular couple of farms around you. What if you go to, I don't know, have a try to Châteauneuf du Pape in somewhere in France, or some kind of a different area that they're famous in the world and they're actually having superb wine? Then you can't keep saying, oh yeah, my wine is the best. No, it was the best among what you tried, what was available, but not really the best in quality, considering everything else that should be considered. If I haven't seen something better, I think what I have is the best. But when I actually see something better, then I can see, okay, I gotta be reasonable. This is maybe good, but not the best. Now that this good that I was satisfied with is not working, is not loyal to me, or is not working for me, for my relation, this relationship is not working between the two of us, then you should be open to go to find something else. Not that to be adamant, no, because I chose it and it was the best from the available choices, then it is the best, even though that I can see it's not working. It's like you buy a new car, it works perfectly, but when it breaks down and you try to fix it and it doesn't get fixed, and you still say, no, it's the best, because when I got it, it was the best. Well, it was the best, but not now. So, move on. So the same thing here. You should be able to understand that your expectation counts, and you gotta expect good quality. If she is not, it didn't work out, move on. Another. You know? Do not imagine the quality of your partner. Actually see if there's a quality there or not. Don't fool yourself so you can say, yeah, I did. You know, it's like when you take an exam in high school or in school, and the teacher has graded everybody, and then you look at yours and it's a C. And you look at the question and say, well, if I had just put this digit here as well, then this would have been correct. So it's really a little bit, so really it's not C, it's actually a B, because you just corrected it, because you said this is a small problem, and it's only one thing, I can fix it here. Then from B you say, well, you know, and also, if I would have fixed this one, it's so obvious, I can see it, I can do, so this is really, I really got A, I really got A. You give all these excuses to make your choice to be, and your own quality to be better than what it is, rather than taking responsibility for it and admitting that this is not the right choice now, maybe it was at one time, and I gotta move on and find, you know, better choices to live my life happy. So what's there? What does she do? A magician? What? What is it? Her vagina made out of gold? What is it that you think no one else can offer you? It is your own mentality that has turned her into this goddess, just because she's denied you the pleasure that you would receive from relationship with her. Open your mind out with this. You're 26-year-old, get off your butt and go and make something out of yourself, be happy with yourself, and then expect higher quality, and choose, and then be in a relationship with a higher quality girlfriends that would suit you better. Both of you would become more compatible. Simple. And he says, I broke up with her in January. My problem is that it's difficult for me to let new and better girls into my life. It's difficult for you, but it's not logical. And it should not be difficult for you. You made it to be difficult for you because you think it's a betrayal if I actually let her go in my mind. Betrayal to who? Betrayal to your own mind. So you have a certain selfishness, an ego, that what I've chosen is the best, and if I now admit and see the truth that is not the best for me, then I've betrayed my own choices. So your ego is too big. Let go of the ego, see it for what it is, not what it used to be, and then move on. See, if this girl, some girl like this, with this behavior, this kind of a level of attention or lack of it towards you, would appear in your life now, would you go for her? No, he says she's not paying attention to me. She's going with other guys and she's not interested in me. So why should I go for her? But this one that used to be paying attention to you, but is not now, you don't see her for the way she is. You still see her for the way it was. And you think she's still that quality that used to pay attention to you. And for that reason, you don't see her the way she is now to disqualify her for the way she is. Because if somebody new would have come with this kind of a behavior, you would not accept her. So what's wrong? What's the difference between now? Between this one? You should not accept this one either and move on. That should be your logic. My ex is still in the way for new girls, my mind. Can you mention simple and specific things I can do to forget my ex-girlfriend? Yes, I just did. Hope you will take it to heart and focus on that, and then you'll be fine. Just give yourself some kind of a chance to go and meet be damn sure there are better girls out there than the one that is not paying attention. What's good about a girl who doesn't pay attention to you? Wish her well and go on to the one who pays attention to you. That's what you want. The whole reason for you wanting to be in a relationship, because you crave attention. Everybody does. It's the attention that attracts you guys. It's the attention that we want, that we put up with a relationship and we go through it. So this one is not giving you the number one qualifying factor for being in a relationship, the attention. So what do you want it for? Go for the ones who pay attention. Don't go after things that is turning her back to you. Okay, turn your back, go away, and you go your own way and find a suitable matches. Preston says, I feel lost. I was open and honest with a girl for 4 years. I never did anything to hurt her and always supported her. She's a Christian. She wrote to Breakup with no explanation. She allowed her friends to tell her family I was cheating on her. I questioned what I was blind to in all of this. She was hypocritical to her beliefs. How can someone be okay with not speaking the truth despite its consequences and be fine with going forward in a lie? It makes me feel like her love was a charade, and by that I question my own judgment. Who cares? You're looking for justification. You're looking for praise. You're looking for things that are not important. The fact is, she's lying. She's not complied with your expectation. She's disappointed you in what and how you thought she is. So face it for how and who she is now, and make your decision on disqualifying her on that basis now. Very simple. How can someone be okay with not speaking the truth is your policy. But you expect everybody else to be in the same camp as you are, in a righteous manner and in being straightforward. And to her, the most important person in the world is herself, her desires, her hopes, and she's a human being. She's no angel, no God. She has shortcomings, and she's striving or searching for something that makes her feel, I've gained something this world. I feel worthy because I got something that I think I needed to feel good about myself. So you've been there for her for 4 years, always treated her nice, and she happened to be a person who doesn't have enough confidence in herself. So she probably felt, oh, if this guy is paying so much attention to me, but I don't think I'm much, and he pays attention to me who I don't think I'm much, therefore he must not be much. And if he's not much, I don't want him. It all comes from her own confidence, not your qualifications or not. So she's not qualified to be with a man who's honest and careful and caring, unselfish, like you. She is looking, she's probably in the idea of whoever doesn't pay attention to her must be something. And because she's nothing, she's looking for something. And she thinks that person who doesn't pay attention to her is something. Therefore, she's going to pursue that. She's fooling herself. She doesn't even know herself. So why do you care about her reasoning? Just focus on the fact that is she or is she not living up to your standards and expectations? If she is not, then who gives a damn where she goes, what she does? And you move on. You're looking for justice, vindication. Her family should know that I did not cheat on her. Who gives a shit about what her family thinks? You gotta care about your truth, and the truth is that you've been a decent guy. And it's not you that makes her go away, it's herself that doesn't know what makes her happy. People should find their happiness before they come in a relationship, not to come into the relationship to find happiness. These are the people who usually break up, like this girl. She's not clear what makes her happy, and that it's her own responsibility to make herself happy. She comes to a relationship to find happiness, then she gets that, and because she doesn't make any effort on her own life, she finally thinks, oh, that's not enough. It's not enough for me to be happy. I gotta now go and try to achieve somebody else's attention so I can maybe find they will bring happiness to me. So all the responsibility for happiness in life is on other people. And these are the people who constantly will switch because they're not self-sufficient. So you simply don't worry about questioning your judgment. You simply focus on finding a good quality girl. And then as long as that is compliance, for both of you are complying with what each one of you are expecting, great. If it doesn't, if it didn't, next. That's all you can do. Nothing else is there. And Robert says, your advice has helped me so much with things throughout the past couple of days. I'm still finding, oh, we have a book here. Robert, you wrote a book? All right, the thing is, this Facebook, doing it through my cell phone is so small that I think I need to have a magnifying glass to read these things. I don't know how to make them big. So he continues, his has helped me so much throughout the past couple of days. I'm still finding it difficult, though, to get her out of my mind, my head, as I think of her 24/7. No, you don't think of her 24/7. You think of pleasure 24/7. You think of the intimacy, you think of the sex, you think of the good things that you guys shared, because human being is designed to focus on the happy occasions and forget on the bad things. So you have no idea that there's something bad in her. At least you don't focus on it, because you prefer to focus on the pleasure parts of the relationship. That's why you miss her. Otherwise, if you really bring the whole file of how this relationship, you know, expanded and developed, you will see there are good stuff, and then you bring the bad stuff as well. You say, holy macaroni, there were too many bad stuff versus the good stuff. And that's why it broke down. So for that, when I focus on the bad stuff, I'm not gonna miss her, because I'm not gonna go through that shit again. But you don't. Naturally, we human beings are built in such a way that we only focus on the good stuff. You know, pain is usually dissipates in time. And that's why you're able to go through different kind of shit, but painful stuff again. Look at the women when they give birth. So much pain and difficulty. More pain than anybody could endure. But just a month or two after that, they've forgotten it and they're ready to be, you know, delivering another one and get pregnant again. That's because human being is built to let the pain dissipate, bad situations and experiences dissipate over time. So you too, you're only focusing on the good stuff and don't remember the bad stuff. And then you think she was really good and a good relationship. I can't get her out of my mind. No, you can't. If you focus on the stuff that was wrong, you can't get her out of your mind. And he continues, I tried doing stuff to keep myself busy, but it still doesn't clear her from my mind. Yeah, because sex doesn't easily get clear from the guy's head. And that's pretty much what it is. Pleasure, the highest level of pleasure through intimacy. And you had that with her, obviously. And therefore, that's what you're focusing on. You know, it's naturally a man thinks of sex every few seconds. 10, 20, 30 seconds, 5 seconds, depending on, you know, what your focus is and what you're doing. If you're focusing on something, you may not think of it. But when you're not doing much or it's something important, you would be thinking about intimacy, you know, many, many, many times a day. And when that happens, which is written in your genes, if you're a heterosexual male, it will be written in your genes, and then by default, you will remember the most recent relationship that you had, most recent girlfriend, most recent intimacy they had with feelings. And this happened to be this girl, this ex-girlfriend of yours. So because you think about these programs that you have in your genes, intimacy and all that, all the time during the day, by default, you'll be thinking of the most recent one, which is your girlfriend. And then you think, oh, I can't get her out of my head. It's not her that you can't get rid of. It's how you're programmed. It's sex, intimacy, what you really want, and then she happened to be the most recent one. And you think it's her that you really desire. It's not that, and it's also, it's the order that you're used to, being with her, doing things with her, seeing her, texting with her, all the mechanical processes that you guys shared, you know, things to do, places to go. All of that is at the forefront of your eyes by default because you constantly crave a companionship, and that's normal. And then he says, I still can't get it out of my head. Routine either. I still can't get into a new routine either, coming home from work and sitting in the house for the full night doing absolutely nothing, or exactly why you keep thinking of it, absolutely nothing. I'm so used to coming home and going straight to her house and staying with that is exactly what I mentioned. You're hooked on the order that you had created. You come home, mechanical process, you come home, you go to her house. These are all the mechanical process through which a certain order has been created, the stuff that you guys did together all the time. And through that certain order, your mind finds psychological security. Your mind finds security through order of things, and the order of things are created through mechanical process that you go through daily life and the things that you do, and in relationship is together. And that's what you're missing, the order. You're used to, conditioned to certain behavior, and that's what's been taken away, and it happened to be with her. So you keep thinking of that this is her that you want back. No, it's the order, it's the sex, it's the good stuff. And that sex and good stuff and the new order can all be possible through new relationships, new horizon, new girls, new possibilities. But you got to become aware of what is it that makes you feel and think the way you do. It's not magic. It's not her. It's your psyche. It's your desire. It's your program. It's your conditionings. For that, with that knowledge, you can rest assured that you don't need her. You just need the mechanics of your life, the order of your life, the intimacy with someone, sharing of feeling and emotions, and some certain mechanical process. With her and staying with her for days, yeah. I don't think it's the intimacy I miss. I genuinely do think that it's her I miss. Why? Why? What is her? Answer this to yourself. You say, oh, it's not the intimacy I miss. It's her. Why? What does she give you that you miss her? It's intimacy. It's holding hands, exchanging feeling, creating, oxytocin. Feeling good, looking into each other's eyes, the promise of intimacy creates oxytocin. You know, dopamine, serotonin. All these chemicals are created because of that whole experience. And you think you miss her. Why do you miss her? Why? Because there is a pathway to pleasure through her. And it's the pleasure you seek, not her. But through her, the pleasure has been fulfilled. So now you know that's a source of pleasure. You got to focus that is not the source of pleasure, the only source of pleasure. There are other sources of pleasure out there, other girls, other relationships. When you focus on this, then you don't think that's where you should gravitate, because that's the only place you can find that what you're looking for, which you think it's not. It's not the intimacy. I like her, really? If she didn't look the way she did, she didn't give you the pleasure, she looked like, I don't know, whatever, different, that didn't turn you on, would you still miss her because of her character, her personality? No. It's a mixture of a whole thing. Character, personality, physical attribute, the intimacy, the experience, the memory, the touch, all of that is what you're missing. Not necessarily. And who is she? She's a combination of all these things. Her consciousness, her persona, the attention she used to give you. Or she's not giving any of it to you, then why are you attracted to her? The conditioning, the order. You still think of her in your memory as it used to be. You don't see her for who she is, that she's not paying attention to, she's not interested to, she's not complying with the way that things were. So you don't see her as she is, because if this girl would come in front of you today, you would not qualify her, because she wouldn't give you the attention, she wouldn't have the stuff that you're expecting. But you don't see her. You see her as how she was in your memory. And therefore, you can't see how she is now, and you still think of her as she used to be, therefore you're attracted to her. Once you see her for what she is, how she behaves, interacts with you, the lack of attention, all that, then you would disqualify her. Simple. Unless you have no standards, then that's a problem of its own. And yes, like I said before, she used to attack me when she was drunk, act violent toward me, and so on. But it wasn't all her fault. Why? Because you don't want it to be her fault. Your ego says it was your choice, so therefore she's perfect. So all that craziness, it wasn't her fault. It was some kind of, I don't know, something she ate. You're justifying her bad behavior because you're selfish. You want it to be perfect for you, so you won't have to get off your ass and go find another relationship. These are the problems you're facing and you gotta fix. You can't turn that which is broken into something perfect as you want it to be just because you wish it. It gotta have qualities to warrant that kind of a performance that you expect. And it doesn't. It's shown to you it doesn't. So move on. And he says, I used to say things that pissed her off, hence the reason why she acted in such a bad way. Oh, really? So if you piss somebody off, she has to beat the crap out of you or be violent, and what did you do? The same kind of a level of discomfort you brought to her that instigated that, or you just said something? And I think you're just justifying because you really want all these things that we talked about, and you're trying to put the blame on you, so she, who is your choice, would look good, so therefore you would look good in your own watcher. See, your thoughts are judging you, and in front of your thoughts, being witness to your quality, you're trying to justify your choice, so you will actually take the blame and be considered a noble person. How compassionate. And he takes responsibility for it. So your own thoughts, which is the watcher, would dub thee as noble, pleasant, wise, understanding, balanced. No, just be harsh on yourself. You don't need to being judged by your own thoughts. It's on your own thoughts. I just feel as if we weren't supposed to split up Yeah, we always think that way until you actually find someone better and say, oh, thank God I split up. So be patient in this transition period. When I first got with her, she had only come out of a relationship, so I'm not too sure if she just got with me to forget her previous partner. Who cares? She did get for you and she did not comply properly, so that's all that matters. I used to book hotels for us, book us into restaurants, and she would never ever want to go. She would rather go out drinking with her mates, so it gives me the impression she didn't really want to be with me, so I don't understand why I'm so sulking over her. Yeah, I don't either. That makes two of us. I still have 60 plus years of my life to live. I don't want to feel weak-minded about all of this. Then re-watch what I just said here and help yourself to move your butt and get off and go find real life and someone who pays attention to you and has compatibility with you, and you guys will try to be, you know, compatible, in harmony, working things out, discussing things, rather than one-sided. You do all these good things for her like a doormat, and she was still gonna go drink with her buddies, and you still consider her qualified. I think you need to, yeah, really give it a little bit of a shake in the gym or run and get all this shit out of your head, and then look at it again as who she really is today, regardless of what kind of pleasure you got from her, and so on and so forth. Just see her for what she is, how she is, who she is, and then see if she's not qualified. Have respect for yourself and move on. And Brenda says, sends hearts. Thank you, dear. All right, guys. These are big, long questions, which is usually saved for one-on-one Skype consultations, which, as you know, I'm just a Skype call away. You can go on my site, mind@seekstruth.com, and click on Talk to Me for consultation, make an appointment, and then, of course, as you know, up to 1 hour, I will double it. Like if you take a half an hour appointment, I'll give you an hour. If you get an hour appointment, I'll give you 2 hours. So this would be helpful to, you know, for your budgets and all that, so everybody from all currencies around the world could afford it. I'm gonna do this for a while until otherwise then I will stop it. But for now, it's there. So if you guys have concerns of this sort that needs exploration, please do go on my site, mind@seekstruth.com, make an appointment, and we'll explore it together, get you out of the rut that you're sitting in, and move you on to stronger and better and happier days. Now, if we don't have any more questions, guys, within the next minute, then it would be my cue to let you guys go and enjoy your evening. I think most of you are from Europe, so it should be about 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. All right, looks like that we have hit all the questions, and I thank you very much for sharing your time with me, giving me your time to share all these explorations together. And I love you all, and thank you, Brenda. I love you too, and I love you all, and thank you again for being here. And please do share the videos that you like in your social media and help us grow. And be good to yourself, to the others, and I look forward to talking to you again. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please go on YouTube and click subscribe and click the bell so you'll be notified when I go live, when YouTube fixes this little technical challenge that we have at the moment. In the meantime, again, be good to yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.